In this session, we're going to cover some more details about master detail relationship. So to start with, this one says the master detail field can be used to create one-to-one, one-to-many, or many-to-many relationships. So this is a confusing thing for a lot of times. You may think, okay, for what type of relationships we can use master detail? So the short answer is to all type of relationships, even if you have one-to-one relationship. For example, we know that between car and the number plate, we have one-to-one relationship, right? One car can have one number plate. So you could have a number plate object and you could have a car object. In between those two objects, you will have master detail relationship because a number plate cannot exist without a car, right? So even if it's a one-to-one relationship, you can still use master detail field. Even if it's one-to-many relationship, you can use master detail field to build that relationship. Similarly for many-to-many relationship. All right, this master detail field can be used for all three type of relationships that we have here. You cannot create a new master detail relationship field on an existing custom object if records already exist on the child object. Okay, this is an interesting one. You cannot create a new master detail relationship on an existing custom object if records already exist on the child object. So what does that mean? So I'm going to demo this, I'm going to create an object. So actually an object and see if I can add some records there and create a relationship, right? So I have this car object, okay? We have this car object. And I'm going to quickly create a car details object, okay? Just to demo that scenario. I'm going to say create new object, custom object, and it's going to be car detail. Okay, so in this car details object, we could add a lot of details about that car. Okay, so everything else, I'm keeping it as default. Okay, so let me create a tab style for this quickly. Something create next, and default is off. I'm making this available for standard user and our admin user. Click next. I'm including that only on our sales lightning app. Sales, where is that? Sales standard lightning. This is the one. Okay, and save. And now what I will do is I'll go back here and pull up this, let's do a refresh and pull up this car detail object, right? So let me also show that kind of, let's go and view that car details object from this as well, just to give you a better picture. Car detail. So it has been created, okay? It just has one field in it that we need to fill out, and that's pretty much it, okay? So now I will go back here and create a car detail, for example, right? So let's say I'm going to create a car detail. And car details. So I'm just going to say Ford 150 details. Okay, just I'm keeping it simple. Of course, we can have many fields here, but just to demo this characteristic of master detail field and to keep this short, I just created that one field object. So currently, what is the scenario? I have car detail object, and this car detail object has one record in it. It has this one record. And let's say in between car and car details, I want to create master detail relationship. One car can have a lot of details, right? It can have details about engine. It can have detailed information about its transmission and all the other things. So one car can have a lot of details. Let's say I want to build a master detail relationship between car and car detail. Car is a parent, and because of that, I have to build that master detail field on the car detail object. And we also know that we already have one car detail that exists, right? In this car detail object, we have one record, right? We have one record. And this bullet point says you cannot create a new master detail relationship on an existing custom object if records already exist on the child object. So what do we have now? We have car detail object. It has one record in it. And this bullet says, if that's the case, then you cannot create this master detail relationship field on this car detail object if it has existing records. So if I go to this car detail, fields and relationship, and click new, and then select master detail relationship field and click next to continue, okay, I'm just continuing as I normally would and selecting car here to relate that to, and clicking next and give it a name. So far looks like everything is normal, but at the end, Salesforce will give me an error message saying, hey, you cannot do this. After I clicked save, it gave me this message, cannot create master detail relationship. And the message says you cannot create master detail relationship on an existing object if records already exist. What does that mean? It means in this car detail object, I have some records that already exist. Okay. Now I have two options to get around this. If I still want to create a master detail relationship between car detail and car, I have to do this. You must first create a lookup relationship, populate the lookup field with data in all records, and then change the relationship type to master detail. So let me first go ahead and do that. All right. So what I will do is I'm going to follow this, right? That's exactly what I believe I have listed here. First, create a lookup relationship. Populate the lookup field with data in all records. In our scenario, we have only one record, so it will be easy and quick. And then change that relationship type to master detail. So what I have to do is, instead of attempting to create master detail field on car detail, I have to create a lookup field first. Okay, so on the car detail object, I'm now not selecting master detail, I'm selecting lookup relationship. Click next and select car object from here. And next. Click next. Making this available for the two profiles, standard user and system admin. Click next. Next. Save. So what have we done so far is we have so far built a lookup relationship between car detail and car. So first step is done. This step is done. And next it says populate the lookup field with data in all records. So on this car detail record, we have a lookup field now that looks up to car. and we have to populate that field. So let's go to car detail record. Okay, let's do a refresh here. Let's open this car detail field. And now we should see a new field on this page that looks up to car. So let's do a harder refresh. All right, now you see we have this car lookup field. So what I have to do is, for all car details that I might have, for it, we have only one. But if, let's say, if I had even more than one or 10 or hundreds, for all of them, I would have to come to the car detail record and relate each one to a car, which unfortunately is not allowing me to do it. So it looks like there is some glitch and issue still going on, delays going on. Let me do a couple more refreshes. Hopefully it will start working. Okay, select. There's some issue here. See, something is weird. Let me do some more refresh. Okay, unfortunately, it's glitching on me. Right. Let me try again. So I'm selecting this field. That's funny that it's not allowing me to do it. Whoa, what's going on here? Not sure if it's a browser issue or Salesforce issue. So I have to do a refresh again. Okay, let me try it on the other incognito browser. So I'm logged in as my test user. So we will try to do it here if our test user has access to that. So car detail. So let's do a refresh over here. Car detail. So no, our test user doesn't seem to have access to our car detail object, but let me try it again here. Okay, so still not working, but what I will do is on this incognito mode, I will log out as a test user and log in as an admin user and see if that would fix that, okay? Maybe it's because of the browser, maybe it's because of Salesforce. So we will see. Now I have logged in as an admin user. So I will bring up my sales app. So in that sales app, I should see the car detail object, right? So for details, let me try it from here. So now I'm able to do that incognito mode, right? So select this car and click save. So okay, as you can see on this incognito mode, I logged in as the admin user in the incognito mode of the Chrome browser. And from there, I was able to go to that same car detail record and then select the car, okay? So I was able to do that. But for some reason in my other browser, it was glitching for me. So when that happens, just log in using the incognito mode and it should work for you. So because of the browser issue, I wasn't able to do it. Now let me reshare my other browser. So you should be able now to see my other regular browser, not the incognito mode, but the standard mode. Let me know if you're seeing this. All right. So I fixed that issue by logging into the incognito mode. So what we have done so far is we have done these two steps. First, we created the lookup relationship. Then we populated the lookup field with data in all records. So when it says in all records, we only have one record. Okay, so in this car details object, we only have one record. So we opened this record and we related this record to a specific car or to any car. If we had more car detail records, then for each of them, you would open each car detail record and relate each of them to a car. Step 2 is done. Now for the step 3, what we have to do is we have to change the relationship type to a master detail. So what we would do is we would go to this car detail object, and then here we have this lookup relationship data type, right? And then what we would have to do is we would have to edit it and change the relationship. You see, we have changed the field type. So click there on that button, specify the type of information that the custom field will contain. So we're going to select master detail relationship here, and then click next. Keep the name as it is. Next, next, and save. So now we have the master detail relationship between car detail and car. So this is how you can create a master detail relationship field in a custom object that has some records in it. Okay? You cannot create a new master detail relationship on an existing custom object if records already exist. So in this car detail object, we had one record that existed. And because of that, it did not allow us to create master detail relationship. So it forced us to bring up that car detail, the Ford 150 detail, and relate it to a car. And then we pulled up that lookup field and changed the data type to master detail. That's one way to do it. There is also another way, okay? Another way would be you would just delete the existing records and then create that relationship. Let me go ahead and quickly demo that to you guys as well. So I'm going to create another object. I'm going to name it to car details 2. Okay, just to keep it simple. I'm naming it as car detail 2. All right, so let me go ahead and quickly do that. Create custom object. And this is going to be car detail 2. Okay, a dummy name just to demo this to you guys. Okay. So I'm saving this, selecting a tab style real quick because I want to get through this as soon as quick as possible so that I could demo this to you. Completely new object, okay? Completely new object just to show you that feature. Making this available to these two profiles. Okay, select next and include this sales app only. Selecting this one, okay? And then click save. And then I'm going to quickly create one record in this car detail 2 object. Okay, so don't get confused. We have car detail, and this is a new one, car detail 2. So let's go here and select pick this car detail too. We should be able to do that from here. So let's do a refresh. We have one car details, that's existing one. Let me do harder refresh to bring up the car details too. Or let me try to do it from here. Car details too, right? We have, this one was already existed. This is a new one. I'm going to create new car details to record real quick. Okay, just give it a name, test car details too. Okay, and save. So now we have this object car details too, and it has one record in it. I'm not sure why my Salesforce is behaving like that, but just ignore it. There's a lag, just a little bit of lag. Okay, so now if I want to create a master detail field on car detail 2 object, it won't allow me. The reason is because this car detail 2 has one record in it. Okay. Previously, we demoed this option, how you can create a master detail field on an object if records exist. We went through these steps. Now I want to show you the other way. The other way is you could delete this record and then create it, and then create the master detail field. So let me pull up this car detail field, and then fields and relationship, click new, and then select master detail, next. So I want to relate that to car. Okay, click next. Okay, car, let's populate that automatically. Click next. Next. Let me go back to previous, because you see, because we are creating a master detail field, it is going to be a required field, and automatically it is made visible to all these profiles. We don't have an option to choose and select which profile it is visible to or accessible to. All right, just pay attention to that. And click next. Also, it is added automatically to the page layout because it's a required field. Click next and then save. Now we're going to get that error, but unlike in the previous scenario where we created lookup field and then populated that data and then converted the lookup field to master detail, in this scenario, in order to get around this error message, I can go into this test car detail 2 records and basically see how many records I have. So I have only one record, and I can quickly delete this record, right? And make this car details 2 an empty object, and then come back here and do a refresh. And then after that, I will be able to create a master detail field here. Because what I did was I emptied this car detail 2 object. This option is not an option that would be always used because deleting records is a risky thing. You don't want, you rarely would delete records. So in most of the time, you would follow the first approach where you would create that lookup field and populate the parent records for each child record, and then convert that data type to master detail. But I just also want to show you this way because in the interview, they might ask you this. If records already exist in the child object, then how can you create a master detail field on it? Preferred way is create a lookup field on the child object and then convert it to master detail. Or if you have an option to, let's say there isn't there are only few records on the child object, and if they are all dummy records and if they can be deleted, then in that scenario you would delete them and then create the master detail field. That's also another option. But usually this is going to be the steps that you would follow in order to achieve it. All right, so now what we have done is we have created the master detail field, you see. Okay, what else? We covered that, and we have some more information about when to use master detail relationship. And we have briefly discussed this in earlier sessions as well. So use master detail relationship if there is a tight relationship between parent and child record. Tight relationship, meaning if you don't want the child record to exist when the parent is deleted, then go with master detail relationship. But if you think that child still can exist when the parent record is deleted, then go with a lookup relationship, which we will talk in the future scenarios. So in this scenario, I could think the better example that I could give you is this building example. We know that apartments cannot exist without having a building, right? If the building is collapsed, apartments get collapsed too. So in that scenario, you could create master detail relationship between apartment and building. But let's say in our recent scenario, in a relationship, for example, you could have books object, right? Books object, and then between this books object and the student object, we can create a relationship. Let's say a student graduates from the college and they leave. And when they leave, you may not use their record. And let's say the college has a policy saying that after that student leaves, after a certain time, the record can be deleted, right? Usually the records will not be deleted in the real life. Okay, the records will remain. They would keep those records. But let's say, hypothetically speaking, let's say you can delete the student record. Okay, if you can delete the student record, you don't want the book information to be deleted, because book information can stay, and those books can be used by other students. So in that scenario, you can go with a lookup relationship, because you don't want the book information to be deleted when the student information is deleted. So that is an example of when you can use a lookup relationship. So if you refer back to this, if the child records can exist independently of a parent record, or if they should persist even after the parent record is deleted, a lookup relationship might be more suitable. This relationship type allows a child record to remain intact even if the associated parent record is removed. All right, so always think about that relationship. So we can only create two master detail fields on an object. So we have to use them wisely. All right, we have to use them wisely. And there could be scenarios where it wouldn't matter. You could create a lookup relationship or a master detail relationship. Sometimes it can also depend on the company policy. If they have entities that cannot, if the child record cannot exist without having a parent record, then you would go with master detail relationship. Okay, so just think about how tight is the relationship, and based on that, create that field, either lookup or master detail.